طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الرحمة المهداة والنعمة المزان والاه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. ما بعد. We're talking now about the reality and the essence of arrogance and the dangers of it. He says, what is the really understanding of arrogance? Where did it come from? قال اعلم أن الكبر ينقسم إلى باطن وظاهر، وهو خلق فالباطن فهو خلق في النفس. اعلم أن الكبر arrogance are two folds, inward and outward. The inward, it is something deal with the behavior and akhlaq and the attitude of nafs, خلق النفس. والظاهر هو أعمال تصدر من الجوارح. And the outward is the actions of the limbs and the senses. Therefore, one of it is a state, it's hal. That's the inward. Then it manifests itself in human action and interactions. And that being manifested through the limbs, the hands, the tongue, and the eyes, and so forth. والظاهر هو أعمال تصدر عن الجوارح. Then the arrogance, the real arrogance, it is the state, the hal. وأما الأعمال فإنها ثمرة ذلك الخلق. What Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah saying here? He's saying that in everything you do, positive or negative, there's two aspects of it. One of it is the state of the mind and the heart, our heart, the state of our heart, and then manifestation of this in our actions. That's why the purpose of the Prophet is to do what? I said last week. What the purpose of prophethood? آياته الكتاب والحكمة ويزكيهم. That he recite the verses, teaching. You teach a book, and he teaches the wisdom, application of the book or the sunnah, and then purification, tazkiyah. Therefore, the tazkiyah is the outcome, but also is a process. Therefore, the whole idea is tazkiyatul batin. The problem comes from within. The actions, the words, and so forth is manifestation of where we are. When we are compassionate, we act accordingly. When we're loving, we act accordingly. When you're arrogant, we act accordingly. When it's selfish, we act accordingly. Therefore, it is a state that manifests itself in action. وخلق الكبر موجب للأعمال. That the state of arrogance, it manifests itself in limbs. يقال تكبر. Then they say a person shows arrogance. وإذا لم يظهر يقال في نفسه كبر. If a person does not show, then that person comes to know that in his state there's an arrogance. What do you mean by that? There's hidden arrogance that you don't see it. It's a state of hasad, for example, jealousy, envy. You say, why Allah give this person this money he didn't give me? Why had this person know this I don't know? But you never tell them. It's in our mind, in our heart. That's arrogance. Arrogance, as I said before, stems from the state of entitlement. I deserve this. I'm better than this person. Belittling people and rejection of truth. Thank you. Therefore, that is what it is. Therefore, when people, Bismillah. When people think too much of themselves and they self-centered and project power in a way that they belittling people and showing control, that arrogance. But that begins with the state. The state. Sometimes it could be a psychological problem that a person needs to be, not only spiritual problem, but psychological problem, require intervention and medication. فالأصل هو الخلق الذي في النفس. The origin of it is the state, this state of akhlaq, manner, character, that it's subtle, very subtle in the nafs. هو الاسترواح والركون لرؤية النفوس فوق المتكبر عليه فإن الكبر يستدعي متكبر عليه ومتكبر به. In order to understand the nature of arrogance, you have to understand the dynamic of arrogance. Arrogance does not take place in vacuum. Arrogance, a person believes there's other than him, less than him or her. Therefore, there's a three dimension. Al-mutakabbir, the arrogant person. Al-mutakabbir alayhi, the person that whom a person have elevated themselves above them, look down to them. Al-mutakabbaru bihi, the reasons of arrogance. What means and ways, what are the things Allah has given us, made us arrogant. What do you get it? Arrogance, the arrogant person, the person whom the arrogance think that they're better than, and the ways and means and the reason that the person show arrogance. And Imam al-Ghazali is going to talk about all of that. And that is difference between arrogance, kibr, al-kibr wal-ujb, the difference between them. فإن العجب لا يستدعي غير المعجب بل لو لم يخلق الإنسان إلا وحده تصور أن يكون معجب. يعني العجب is to think too much of yourself, even if there's no comparison. You don't compare it. And arrogance requires comparison. Ujb does not require comparison. But you think that you are the best in the world. You know, without comparing to anything. Okay. And you're going to come to that, inshallah. From ajab. Like that you look to everyone is, you know, you look to yourself like wonder, amazed with yourself. Right. ولا يتصور أن يكون متكبرا إلا يكون مع غيره وهو يرى نفسه فوق ذلك الغير في صفات الكمال. Therefore, the arrogance is to compare oneself to others, and you believe that you're more perfect, you are ahead of or above the other people. And that is what arrogance comes from. This idea of thinking someone less than us. As the Rasulullah defined it, arrogance is belittling people and rejecting of the truth. That's the definition of arrogance, according to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And sometimes a person might think that he is a great person, but he does not see other people less than him. You see that some people also great. That person is arrogant, but have not manifested in action. ولا يكفي أن يستحقر غيره، فإن مع ذلك لو رأى نفسه أحقر لم يتكبر، ولو رأى غير مثل نفسه لم يتكبر، بل ينبغي أن يرى لنفسه مرتبة ولغيره مرتبة، ثم يرى مرتبة نفسه فوق مرتبة غيره. He says that a person, in relationship, when you interact with people, you walk to the mall, you walk to your place of work, you walk to anywhere, and you categorize people. This person less than me, he doesn't know anything. This person my peer, this person above me. Sometimes, maybe that a person have less knowledge than you, and the person equal to you, a person had. That probably, it is not arrogance if a person does not shows the other person that they're worth nothing. When a person becomes arrogant, is always looking down to people. But recognizing the difference between a person who knows and a person who doesn't know, that does not show arrogance. For example, a manager is a manager. A leading project in a project is a leading of a project. And he has to act as such. But if you look to other people down, belittling them, demonize them, that is arrogance. No? What we need to know, if a person believes that he is above others and does not believe that somebody higher than them in any knowledge or ability or aptitude, in that case, that a person is arrogant. Now, the Imam Ghazali talked about something very important. There's a growth of sin. Sin begins like a seed, even arrogance. A little bit. And then it grow, well, until a person becomes very blind, a deaf, does not hear anything but himself, does not see things except himself. As Fir'aun said, لا أريكم إلا ما أرى. So I don't see anything for you except what I see. ولا أهديكم إلا سبيل الرشاد. He said, the only thing that is good for you, what I think is good for you. And I'm the only person who can tell you what to do. That one level. Then he went to the next level, he said, what? يا أيها الملأ ما علمت لكم من إله غيري. He said, oh people, I don't know any God for you except me. Not only that, he went further to say, أنا ربكم الأعلى. I'm your Lord the Most High. Not only worshipping, I'm the creator, I'm the sustainer of the world. ربكم الأعلى. There is no Lord higher than me. Therefore, if you see how arrogance, it grew inside the person until it become completely blind and not in touch with reality. And we see that, by the way, sometime in politics, sometime in business, sometime in stars. Why do you think people abuse people? Because they come to a point they believe that no one can question them, no one should ask them, they can buy everybody, they can intimidate everybody. That's why they can get away with it. And that's why people fall like this, fall on their head. The arrogant person doesn't fall slowly. You fall, dive on their head. Now, and therefore, then when we feel the seed, a little bit of arrogance in ourselves, you uproot it before it grows. You know how we know that we're arrogant or not? When we believe that by race, I'm Sudanese, for there's other people who are not Sudanese, they don't have the level of my race. Really. When a person acting arrogantly because of their gender, or because of their wealth, because of their beauty, because of their power. Imam Ghazali is going to talk about that and elaborate on that. Now, and he says, when a person gets to being arrogant, he actually become excited with his arrogance and how he show himself and post in his Facebook and Twitter and, become very, arrogance in how he talk to people because of his followers. وركونه إلى ما اعتقده وعز في نفسه بسبب ذلك. Whatever that causes that arrogance, a person becomes so much relying on it, whether that's the fame or the money or the beauty. فتلك العزة والهزة والركون إلى العقيدة هو خلق الكبر. ولذلك قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أعوذ بك من نفخة الكبرياء. لذلك قال عمر أخشى أن تنتفخ حتى تبلغ الثريا. A man said, can I give a talk after Fajr? And Umar said, no, you can't talk. You, not today, you cannot give a talk. And the guy said, why? He said, because it seemed like too much of yourself. فالكبر arrogance عبارة عن الحالة الحاصلة في النفس من هذه الاعتقادات. It is the state of a person that the cumulative of believe those wrong beliefs about themselves. ويسمى أيضا عزة وتعظما. A person believe that are mighty and greatness. ولذلك قال ابن عباس في قوله تعالى إن في صدورهم إلا كبر ما هم ببالغيه. In their heart there's arrogance that they will not be able to manifest it or not to be, because sometimes they think that they will never die or never this. قال عظمة لم يبلغوها. They thought about the state they have not reached. وفسر الكبر بتلك العظمة. Then he interpret arrogance with this mightiness in their mind or greatness in their mind. Then he said there's the inward and outward outcome of the outward يسمى تكبرا. We call it arrogance. فإنه مهما عظم عنده قدره بالإضافة إلى غيره حقر من دونه وازدرأ وأقصاه عن نفسه وأبعده وترفع عن مجالسته ومؤاكلته. طيب. That there's you heard of this class level, middle class, lower class, blue collar class, white collar class, blah, blah, blah. All these categories, heard about it in America? When people say these people are upper middle class or upper class, what they mean by that? Usually what they mean? More money. In some countries, also there's a caste system. You're born in a particular caste. And if you're from that caste, then that lower caste, he cannot touch you, they cannot be near you, you cannot socialize with them, you cannot eat with them. You cannot eat with them, you cannot do business with them. Am I correct? Like business, I'm saying that in high level, not selling them things. You can sell them things, but you will not engage in a level of peer level. Huh? You cannot marry them. You cannot marry from them at all. Absolutely not. In their mind. Therefore, what the arrogance does It creates kind of social categories, different categories in society. And those people in those social categories, they believe that because of where they've been placed, they're better than others. Because where they've been placed. Even when you come to the United States, they ask you to fill out an application. Like if you're a migrant like me. And you have to identify your race. When you say I'm black, you're in an advantage or disadvantage when you mark that black thing, sister. When you mark that black thing, so when you check the black thing. Disadvantage. Automatically. Because, especially when you come in the 50s, you're entering in a level of disadvantage to begin with. Because your color means something. Color code. Huh? And in some society, when a person identifies themselves as a female, is that advantage or disadvantage? Disadvantage. Because a place where men dominate society, and especially the chauvinism, and so then the disadvantage. And so on and so forth. For the arrogance sometimes can be collective arrogance and can be individual arrogance. Society promote the culture of arrogance, where they pay women less than men, but they do the same job. The same job, same hours, and women being paid less. You know that or not? That arrogance, because you believe this person, by their nature, they're inferior. By their nature, they're inferior. In countries, an immigrant get paid less than indigenous, even in Muslim countries. It's true or not? If you go to Muslim countries, and you are from Sudan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, and there's an indigenous person, you do the same job, you're being paid 1/4 of that person's salary. Am I correct? That arrogance. Inferior complex. They create with people inferior complex. That means you come in and you think you have to look at me as bigger than you, better than you. For arrogance is not just theoretical. It manifests itself in policies. You know, discrimination, racism, all of that. You know, like people being taken as we speak. Why do you think that's bad? Why? The reason is when a person doesn't care about other people's life. All this arrogance. For a person, when they become arrogant, they isolate people. They will not sit with them. They will not eat with them. Imam Ghazali saying. And they demand the people to stand before them. Like they will come to a room and they says, you should not be sitting when I walk in. While Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did the opposite. Rasul said, don't stand for me. The Sahaba stood when he came. He said, don't stand for me. Second time came, they stood for him. I said, don't stand for me. The third time, he said, Ya Rasulullah, one of them said, Ya Rasulullah, it's impossible. We can't do this. We cannot be sitting walking in. It's not going to happen. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But he didn't demand it, he didn't ask for it. But they say they're overwhelmed. When he walked in, they're overwhelmed with his presence. You know, that's out of love. Like when he said to Ali, Imam Ali, what you said to him, erase, where people asked, he said, Muhammad Rasulullah, Adam Muhammad Rasulullah. He said, erase it. Ali said, I'm not going to do it. Says, Erase it. He said, no, no. You are Rasulullah, whether this guy like it or not. But Rasulullah said, show it to me. And then he erased it. He didn't scold Ali radiallahu anhu, karramallahu wajhahu. He didn't say to him, why didn't you listen to me? He knew out of love. You know? You see, they didn't listen to him, not because they disobey him. But the overwhelming love that Sayyidina Rasulullah, we cannot resist that. It's not going to happen. We're not going to be just sitting in the walk in. طلع البدر علينا صلى الله عليه وسلم. And they say poetry, actually. They recited poetry describing how difficult for them to do so. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And mu'akala, which is eat with somebody. Do you know, one of the most common known between human beings in socializing is breaking bread, eating with somebody. And you have to think about when was the last time we ate with someone that is not from your country, if you're a migrant, original, the homeland country, doesn't look like you. A Muslim doesn't look like you, does not have the same native language like you. Just out of friendship to come out for lunch. The more people socialize and eat together, the more their hearts become connected. For they has people standing before their. I have seen places where a person have a servant standing like this for 1 hour, just next to them. Nothing. The servant's not doing anything. Waiting for our commands. Instead of say, go, if I need you, I'll call you. No, stand here. Don't leave. On their feet for 1 hour, 2 hours. Just next standing. Wow. Now, and then he says, then even if we, he said this one level, the second level is that a person thinks that this person does not deserve even to be in his presence or her presence. Then he says, then a person takes to the next level, the arrogance. Does not like this person to walk in the same street they walk. These countries, literally, they have 2 lanes. Lane for indigenous, or the dominant people, and the others. And therefore they give you different license plate. You know, have you heard of checkpoints? Checkpoints? These checkpoints to humiliate people. There's some people giving birth at checkpoints to humiliate people. In every 2 meters, 3 meters, the checkpoints happen in Palestine. Checkpoints. Person stand. Why? Why you have different highways? Why do we do that? That's what happened here in this country. For a long time, the white man and the black man cannot drink from the same fountain. It actually pictures black, white. If you've been caught drinking from the fountain of the white, you go to prison. Drinking water. And that's why when you talk about civilization, you ask yourself, what history we as human beings have in treating one another when you're talking about civilization, civilized society. How can society be civilized when they discriminate? You know? Therefore, when Rosa Parks refused to give her seat in the bus in America, she broke this arrogance. The bus is not that full, huh? She sat in the front. The bus driver said, "Ma'am, go to the back." She said, "Why?" "You know why. Go to the back. I'm not leaving my seat. You have to go to the back." They took her to the police station, fingerprinted, took her pictures, charged her disobeying a law that does not allow a black person to sit in the front. 1400 years before that, Bilal sat next to Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu. You're going to tell me, you think my religion is barbaric? Islam is a barbaric religion? Discrimination happens every day. This is not Islam. If a Muslim were to do that, he's not practicing Islam. We taught people equality. We brought a Bilal, the black man, we brought a Persian man, brought a Roman man, and we set them in the same row in prayer, lined up in the same salah. We brought all the stereotype and discrimination that the world knew at the time. Before the Declaration of Human Rights. We did that. And that's why I cannot understand when a Muslim believes that practice in Islam and is a racist. How could be a racist and practice in Islam? This is a satanic characteristic, Iblis characteristic, Shaitan, who says, "Ana khayru minhu," I'm better than him. خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. You create from fire, you create from the clay. That is satanic characteristic. You allow somebody to build a house, you give them permit in 2 minutes. Other person does not look like you refuse to give them a permit to build to build a home in the homeland. You discriminate because who this person, who that person is. You refused. What do you call that? Arrogance 2023. Happening as we speak. This is arrogance. That's why he said, في مضايقة الطريق وارتفع عليه في المحافل وانتظر أن يبدأه بالسلام. That a person will push person away in the way, in the street, and when you see him in any social gathering, that make sure that show them that better than them, and we did not initiate salam with those people. You wait until they give you salam first. واستبعد تقصيره في قضاء حوائجه وتعجب منه. يعني an arrogant person, a person come to him from different race or class in their mind, and they don't pay them that was supposed to be. A person worked for 8 hours, you pay them 4 hours. The person said, "You didn't pay me." Was it? You should be happy that I paid you. Really? You should show gratitude, okay? Get out of it, show gratitude. Does not see themselves have wronged this person. Even the wrong they think is a favor. You know what I'm saying? And the amazing things about this whole thing, this person who practiced this arrogance on somebody else, they get some virus called COVID-19. get sick by the same virus. The virus does not say, oh, you're upper class. No, no, no. I'm made for lower class. You know? Only lower class. That does that? No. Same virus come to this rich person, come to this poor person. Type death. When death comes, the death comes to the rich person or only poor people? Only people die? Only average person die? No king, no presidents die, they die. None of them. La ilaha illallah. It's an illusion. People are sick in their head. They're sick. Everyone dies. For a person should not assume that they're going to live forever. And then he says, وإن حاج أو ناظر أنا فليرد عليه يرد عليه وإن وعظ استنكف من القبول. إن وعظ استنكف من القبول. He said, this person, when engaged in dialogue, in an argument, he will not accept the truth. Especially from someone they think that they're less than them. They will never accept it. And if somebody will say to them, you're wrong, they get very angry. Very angry. How comes you say I'm wrong? Right? One of the things that social media have created an arrogance of fame that a person who has many followers in social media does not accept other people's opinion. How? If anyone want to say something to them, they will fabricate something, they will do something to destroy the other person. They will never admit their mistake. Because if I admit my mistake, then I'm going to lose what? Followers. I have to stay. No matter what I did, I have to defend it. But this person does not accept. It sounds familiar, all of these things. وإن وعظ استنكف من القبول. If somebody remind them of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, say اتق الله, he will not accept it. وإن وعظ عنف في النصح. This is one of the characteristics. You know what that means? Have you heard people said, what kind of Muslim are you? I said, speak to me in a more in calm way. Because there's some people believe that they manipulate the truth. And then when they see you, either they call you kafir, or fasiq, or munafiq. They have it all in their pockets. Boom, munafiq. Kafir. Come down. Jumping too much to conclusion. You need to ask me first before you make judgment. You know what I mean? You know, there's a black man said, don't hate me because of my color. Get to know me and you may have a reason to don't like me. Yeah, but don't judge, judge the people by the cover. You know, there's some people objected the Sahaba radiallahu alayhim, and until they sat with them like Imam Ali have Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu jami'an to speak to the Khawarij. And the Khawarij was very arrogant. They said that he have took away Amir al-Mu'mineen title. Because he said, they told him that don't say Amir al-Mu'mineen because we want to have a treaty with you, you know. And he said, okay, with Ali and they said, how comes He called himself like that. He allowed himself to take the title away. Then he told them, Rasulullah told me to wipe Rasulullah at the time of Salah. They jumping to conclusion is one of the most unfair way of approaching any issues to ourselves and to others. For Imam Ghazali saying here something very important. He said, like, have you seen a person sitting something sort of like, brother, with the way you prayed, subhanallah, it's again is a sunnah. Really? Do you ask me what my name is? No. You don't know me? No. طيب يا أخي, maybe I became Muslim yesterday. Why are you so harsh? Bid'ah! Come on, come down a little bit. Little bit. Hold your horse a little bit. Ask me. If you want to teach me something, teach me gently. You cannot teach sunnah with harshness. You have to teach sunnah with sunnah. You cannot teach sunnah with harshness. You have to teach sunnah with sunnah. Smile somebody's face. Say, brother, you know, I realize that you missed one rak'ah maybe. Maybe, am I mistaken? I think you missed one rak'ah. Oh, I'm sorry. Brother, what are you doing? Miss one rak'ah. Stand up, pray. Why? Why like that? Why it has to be like this? And some people believe that the more you become religious, the more harsh you should become. Otherwise, you're not serious about Islam. You have to frown in people's face. You have to scream at them. You have to call them names. So they know that you're serious being Muslim. Why? Why is that? You know what I'm saying? Allah said to Musa and Harun, many times I said this, but I cannot stop repeating it. فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا to Fir'aun. Allah told them, he might accept your message. لَعَلَّهُ يَذَّكَّرَ وَيَخْشَى. Did Allah knew Fir'aun that? Did he know that Fir'aun will not accept the message? He knew that Fir'aun will not accept the message, but he asked Musa to deliver it in the way he's supposed to deliver it. Whether Fir'aun accepted or not is not up to Musa alayhi salam and Harun alayhi salam. But they need to do their part. قُلَا قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. You know what I'm saying? For he says one of the signs of arrogance is a person become in their wa'z ghalidh. In their wa'z or reminding people, they're harsh. إن وعظ عنف في النصح. ويرد عليه شيء من قوله غضب. And if they say, I think, but you mistaken in this, then become angry. He's harsh, talking to people, and doesn't accept anything being said to them. when علم لم يرفق بالمتعلمين. And when he became a teacher, he humiliated the student. Humiliate them. Harsh with them. There are some people who should not become teachers. They may have knowledge, but it's better to stay home. Keep it to yourself. Seriously. They turn children away from Islam. They turn adults away from Islam. The way they teach people. It is not. Even when they give khutbah, they're angry. I don't know why. They make you feel so bad, like as if hit by a truck. You leave the Jum'ah, you don't know where you're going. You people like this, you people like that. And he never could put himself with it. You cannot be harsh when you talk to people. You have to be soft when you talk to people. You cannot elevate yourself above people. You say we, use the word we. There's softness. The minute you look down, you would point finger to people like that. They say, this person pointing the finger, but never included himself on it. You know what Rasulullah does? He knows somebody have done something wrong. But he will not call them out by the name. He said, مَا بُلُ أَقْوَامٍ يَفْعَلُونَ كَذَا وَكَذَا. Why people do this, and that. And he knows who they are. before, I remember somebody told me, he said, Imam Majid, you give us a khatib, no, this a few years ago. He made it feel so bad. I said, how? He said, you guys, you might go to hell. You might do this and that. He listed all the things that wrong with the congregation. And I said, maybe you exaggerated. I called somebody else and said, you were in that khutbah? He said, yes. I said, I heard the same thing. I called the brother and said, why did you do that? He said, because I heard that you have to scare people. ترعبهم, like خوفهم. Khutbah is taw'id, wa'id. No, khutbah is not to, screaming and people belittling them. You don't do that. We should learn the prophetic way of teaching. Now, alhamdulillah, the brother promised me that I will never do that again. But the way that you approach people, it's very important. People should not feel that you're belittling them or looking down to them. أدعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. Call to the way of Allah بالحكمة, wisdom. And hikmah, you need to know who the person is you're talking to. And then you talk to them to their level. And موعظة, why موعظة حسنة? Because there's ugly موعظة. A reminder, but it's not حسنة. It's harsh. موعظة الحسنة. وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. Engage with them in dialogue in the best manners. سبحانك الله وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. One of the things to take away, that all of us, we have mistakes, we have shortcomings. We need to check on ourselves to make sure that we are not practicing arrogance. We're not looking down to people. We're not belittling people. We're not being dismissive. Ourselves, each one of us, to have self-reflections. And no one can really correct themselves without self-evaluation. We have, all of us, we have to do self-evaluation. To check ourselves, look at those criteria Imam al-Ghazali have just put. Am I arrogant? Do you have an arrogant attitude? And then if we do so, we find that in ourselves, we're corrected. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this garden the garden of blessing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease the difficulty and hardship of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala restore justice. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of the being oppressed around the world. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله